Guys, my name is Nairi and you will find me on the Adoption Family Life channel, and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of adopting siblings. If you think that anything around Adoption Family Life could be useful to you because you're thinking about adoption or you are an adopter, then please consider subscribing to my channel by hitting the pink button below. So, siblings, pros and cons. Well, I have sibling boys, so I can speak from experience of having 2 in the house. I also have 5 grown-up birth children, but I was a foster carer, so I know what it's like when children go off individually into households and how it is for single adopters, etc., etc. So what are the pros of having a sibling group? Well, the pros is that they have each other, and from our experience, that bond that ties them is mighty tight. Our boys, even though they don't really get on all the time, if the chips are down, they will always protect each other. So they have each other throughout life, which I think is pretty amazing, really, when you think about some of the trauma that they've gone through and possibly some of the hurdles that they're going to face. I also think that from a point of view of entertainment factor, again, I say mine don't get on brilliantly, but they can kick a ball around with each other. They've got stuff to do together. They possibly just don't feel so isolated in the house. It's the same as if you've got an only child or you've got siblings. You know, sometimes it is harder for an only child to find things to do. Sometimes it isn't. So the other advantage is just the entertainment factor. And also, third point here is there's a desperate need to take on sibling groups. I'm sure most local authorities or organisations will tell you it's much harder to place a sibling group. So you could actually prevent them from being separated out into different families. And certainly, again, that was something that we managed to do by keeping the boys together. And that's a great feeling to know that you prevented them having to go off into separate families. So those are the advantages, guys. The disadvantages: they don't always get on. Ours definitely don't. And also they can trigger each other from their previous childhood trauma. So you can find that they've got this kind of way that they look at each other, and that is a trigger happening. And so sometimes having them together as siblings can be counterproductive to their development and for them overcoming their trauma. So that's a negative. Also, it's twice as much work, sort of. Maybe it isn't twice as much work, but it's obviously going to be busier in the household. You're not able to give each one of them so much individual attention, and so they can sort of clamour for your attention, particularly if they have attachment disorder or attachment difficulties. So that's another negative. They can kind of fight oppositionally for your attention. And thirdly, another negative is that you cannot give them so much time as you would individually, which is similar to my last point. But you would have to think about what your family dynamic is, what your work pattern is, who is around to help you with them, because there will be times, of course, when 2 is definitely more work than 1, and you're going to need maybe an even stronger network around you. So consider, if you're a single adopter, whether you can stretch yourself out to 2 and what your actual circumstances are, your relationship is like, to be able to deal with, you know, potentially double the problems. We have a lot of issues that we have to overcome still, and we've had the boys for 8 or 9 years, not as adopted but fostered, and we still have a lot of issues that we have to sort out, and it does take a long time sometimes. So guys, I hope that just gives you a flavour of considering a sibling group, you know, because siblings are exciting too. There's something quite exciting about taking on a sibling group, particularly if it's 3 or 4. Maybe you're that brave, I don't know. If you found this helpful, please hit that pink button below or subscribe onto my channel, and I look forward to seeing you back soon. Thank you now. Goodbye.